Hey y'all, welcome to the Moving with Millennials podcast with your favorite millennial realtors.
We are 4 top producing agents in the DFW area, and we are ready to share the good, bad, and the real life of real estate.
Whether you're thinking about getting into real estate, already an agent, or just curious about what your agent really does, join us.
Tune in every Wednesday to see what it's really like to be on this side of the transaction.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode with Moving with Millennials. Today we are talking about summer maintenance since we are at the peak of summer and those hot temps.
I know I literally said like it is surface level of the sun hot yesterday.
It's so hot.
It is awful.
It's supposed to feel like 100 and something, like
109.
The rest of our lives. It feels like,
Have you guys
so
seen
bad.
that meme? And it's like, where in Texas summer are you? And it's like hell's front porch. And it's like, you are here.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yes.
It's almost too hot to be outside with
It
the kids.
is.
Unless they're in the pool and I have to limit the time. It's just, it's so hot right now. Which
and we don't even walk our dogs until like it's sun. Yeah,
it can be bad for their paws. Like walking during the
it
day.
can burn
I
them.
see people out like jogging with their dogs like during the day, and I'm like, oh my god, their poor little paws.
Yeah,
I feel
I
bad for
know.
them.
they're in the grass.
It's really nice in the morning though for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
For like at 5:30 in the morning.
But also the humidity is also
It's
so
so
gross
bad.
too.
So bad.
So back to house tips. So,
Yes, so the first one is water your foundation. This is definitely a big Texas thing. So you can get like soaker hoses around your foundation to keep it
Moist.
moist.
A lot of the new builds also have the sprinklers in the garden beds that will do it on their own. But especially if you have an older house, this is so important.
So important.
Well, and I feel like certain cities or certain areas are also more prone. Like
like Arlington,
Las Colinas also. Like a lot of those houses.
Definitely.
I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but I heard part of Las Colinas was built like on an old landfill. And so like it is like super unstable. And so, which I mean, I feel like that's like more common than we realize. But so shifting foundations definitely more common in certain areas.
And you can just water it with a water hose if you don't have a sprinkler or soaker hose.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so easy, but can like save you tens of thousands of dollars down the line. And also, once you've had foundation repair, that's disclosed on your house for the rest of its life. So it's like if you can just save that hassle, because we all know like once we have buyers making an offer on a house and it's had foundation repair, it's like the due diligence on that is just way more in depth.
For sure.
And Alan, we had foundation problems and we had to fix it twice. So then when we went to sell, it was, and we even had this, they had soaker hoses. It was just by the time we got the house, it was so damaged that, and then you have to keep up with that. So it's so much easier to nip it in the butt and just make sure you're watering your foundation and doing all that stuff. And if you forget, soaker hoses will do it for you.
For sure. And side note on foundation, you always want, if you think that you need foundation work, you're going to want to get an engineer out. And you can also get a foundation company out. It's free to use a foundation company, but they sometimes can sell you on foundation if it doesn't need it. So you want a structural engineer, which is like $500, that will determine if you need work done or not.
And a good foundation repair company will also, a lot of times they'll bring in a third-party engineer and they'll do a report before and after. And then part of that report will tell you like if they're gonna, because foundation repair comes with warranty, and it'll tell you like how many degrees it must shift before they'll actually do the warranty work again. Because a lot of times like you'll start to see years down the line, you'll see some cracks again and you're like, oh, they need to come out and fix it. And like, it hasn't shifted enough. So I know that's another big one too.
Yeah, definitely.
So keep all that information. Okay, so the next one, we're just going to talk about some like general like lawn maintenance. This is a good time to make sure that you're, watering your grass as much as you can. And I know a lot of cities will do like the drought, like you can only water your yard on certain days and at certain times. So that we're smart with our water because it is important. I think like we were like, I don't have to worry about it now that I'm in a condo. But we were always like certain days of the week, and like it always was like crazy early in the morning or like crazy late at night. You definitely don't want to water like in the height of the day.
I think we do ours in the morning.
Ours goes off like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like 5.
I always crack up though when it's like that, but then you see someone like with their kids like on like a slip and slide during like the middle of the day, and I'm like, that's using the water. Like,
I know.
We just planted those 11 trees, so we're in like fight mode of like trying to save all the trees because now we planted them like 3 months ago, but even we were gone for that week and they didn't get watered, and so now we're like the trees.
I'm surprised
and we have 3 hoses connected because they shut off our sprinklers in the back to do all the work.
Yeah.
So we've had like, I call myself Cinderella. I'm like, Cinderella's going to do the trees.
You know that you can like not buy, but like tankers of water can be like delivered.
Yeah, well, I should have done that.
I'm surprised you have not already.
That's
like
funny,
you buy and do everything else.
Like, Cinderella has to 3 hose it and take all my hoses to water these trees. But and I mean, even the trees too. If you have trees in your yard, especially older trees, you want to make sure that they're getting watered properly because losing a big tree is expensive.
Yeah. Our last house, Jason's house, 2 gorgeous trees that have been there since it was built in 1991. And he just this year had to cut down the giant one on one side.
No.
And you also don't realize like how much those trees shade that side of the home.
So they cut down the tree behind our Allen house, and it would cover the whole backyard where the kids could play in the whole backyard. Yeah. And they cut it down like that, and now it's just it has to be a sun pit back there.
Yeah, the trees were 2 of my favorite things about that house for me. So about the front elevation, it just was so pretty. So. And then also weeding is important. It's like, it's a good time to like get like your flower beds and make sure those are staying pretty, as pretty as possible, I guess, Again,
we just found out
water.
that in our front sprinkler on the left side of the house, water's kind of weird. So the grass is now grown into the flower bed. Mm-hmm. So the other day I'm like, mad about it. Yeah. Stupid weeds.
I prefer not to do any of this, actually, and prefer to, like, have someone doing all this. And it's, like, lawn maintenance, like, basically your lawn maintenance company is
handling all your
doing
stuff.
all of this stuff.
Chris does all ours. Like,
I don't know how.
I don't either. I, can't even keep flowers alive. Like, he does. He's so good. Like,
I struggle with indoor plants.
Yeah, same.
I'm
Me
like,
too.
I have a small human I keep alive.
Yeah.
And a dog, but that's to the extent.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's tough.
I'm over plants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, one more is the
pressure washing.
We just did all of our furniture on the back patio. It'd been a year since we did it, so we pressure washed all the furniture. You can pressure wash the driveways, sidewalks, brick and mortar.
Yeah, it is so satisfying seeing
the videos.
Yes, it is like I could watch it all day.
Yeah.
Like,
and even like the window washing videos. I'm like, it's so cool.
So cool. Yeah. But you can rent those little pressure washer things.
You can.
They're not, when you look at how much you would use it to, making the investment in doing it. I think we got a cheap one from Lowe's. And Pat and Tootie have just been going at it.
Now you can rent it out to your neighbors.
Along with the bounce house.
Yeah, I told my brother about that.
That's over here.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, just how is that going, by the way?
Not good. My kids hate the bounce house too now, so it's become a complete disaster. Yeah.
Oh gosh. I actually wondered about it the other day and almost texted ask.
Just come on over, guys.
Yeah.
Pat uses it.
Oh my God. I would too.
He'll set it up and no one good. He's like, I'll use it then.
Seriously,
and I'm like, look how much fun I'm having.
Why don't the kids
after
like
a couple of drinks?
Because totally. The pool. They're so in love with the pool right now. And because they love swimming and they snorkel. And so now they have their fun snorkel masks. And the bounce house does not stand a chance. But when it turns cooler, I think it'll maybe come back.
You know what you should do? You should combine the bounce house, get a foam machine.
We have a water thing on it. Like, it's a cool water slide.
Foam is not the same as water.
Yeah.
You have a water slide on the bounce house?
No.
She did not buy a bounce house.
Yeah,
she bought one of those things.
No, it's the hose connects. There's like a slide down and it's a water slide.
I want to come and play on it.
Come on.
I know.
Maybe my kids will play on it if they see how much fun we're having.
Yes.
So fun. Millennials party over there.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Like, back to pressure washing, like, on topic. The thing I always picture is, like, so many of the houses here have the white stone. Mm-hmm. And it's called, when I used to work, like, with builders and design or whatever, it's because the most common stone in Texas is the Austin limestone, which is white.
Austin
so it's called Austin chalk. And so that actually does not age very well on homes.
No, it doesn't.
It's so gross.
Not.
It gets so gross. I almost said grody. Oh my God, I haven't heard that word in years.
I know.
You guys
are saying
I was
gross
going to let you
dirty.
keep going. Yeah.
He said grody. Is that why how the word came about?
I guess.
Grody.
Maybe. It has
gross,
to be.
dirty.
Yeah, but
grody.
it doesn't last. So you do have to maintain it. So if you do have a white house, or you've even, like, wow, I guess
it's
if
so
you paint
porous.
it white.
No, you can't.
You can't pressure wash that.
But so the Austin chalk limestone is very porous. And so especially if you look around the foundation, like if you don't take care of it, it will start growing like moss and like all kinds of stuff. It also depending on if it's in an area where you have gutters and the gutter has any rust on it, that rust will carry over to the stone. So you can actually get rust within the stone as well. And it can have its own rust deposits. There's this whole thing. But yeah, so if you have white stone, please power wash it, because it's one of the things that drives me crazy when I drive it to a house that's got pretty brick and stone, and then you actually look at the stone and you're like, oh my god, it's so gross.
Yeah,
and once you don't maintain it, to pressure wash it and
so
clean it after is so much harder.
Mm-hmm.
So this maintenance is so important.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next one that we're going to talk about is pest control. So if you don't do something quarterly for bugs, which is what we really suggest, summer is definitely the time to make sure that you have, I almost said Terminator earlier, we were talking about it, but an exterminator. Because, that it's so hot, so this is definitely the time where critters and bugs and things like that are trying to get into your home.
There's little baby mice just hanging out around the grass.
Ours just came to spray yesterday.
Yeah.
We have a automated... They come quarterly.
I don't have to worry about it as much
being in a condo.
But I wonder,
it
makes me wonder if the HOA has someone that
do.
sprays. I'm sure they do. We have a great lawn crew that does all of our whatever. But
yeah, I'm sure they do.
I would imagine, but I've never seen them. But my front door is within a vestibule, so it's you go through one door, and then our 4 units all have our doors 2 down, 2 up. So it's that wouldn't really nothing's gonna get in there.
No.
I have windows in the front and back. Occasionally, but the tiny little ones, because the back door though is directly to my patio. So when we do have anything, it's back there.
Yeah.
So that's the only area, and I have a little pest control thing I spray around my patio because I'm so I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah, me either.
Spiders, please.
But I would be more worried about spiders, snakes, mice, all of that kind of stuff trying to get in.
Ugh.
This is also the time where you'll have possums or
armadillos,
and squirrels trying to get into your attic.
Yeah,
too.
And raccoons in some cities in Dallas too.
We saw a fox the other day
in
our neighborhood. Yeah. Literally across the street.
Was he so
I tried to
cute?
get a picture. No, it was red. Not really. It kind of was. It was freaky.
Oh, see, so our old neighborhood, even in Richardson, we had bobcats.
Yes, there was.
And they're big.
Yeah,
they are.
And people on that app, what's it called? The Nextdoor app. People would be like, bobcats in my bushes, and
that's scary too with pets and stuff.
Yeah, they will
take
your dogs
puppies
and cats.
Oh gosh.
But they're so pretty.
Yeah,
they're so
bobcats
pretty.
Are really pretty.
But we would also have there once was a fox. Occasionally you'll get coyotes, but they come from the other side of George Bush.
We have coyotes,
and those are scarier, I think, than bobcats.
Yeah, and our cats have started right before dusk. They'll come to the back porch because you'll hear them as soon as the sun goes down. The coyotes have been going.
Hello.
Yeah, medicine.
That's crazy.
So pest control is very important. And I think if you do see, obviously the fox is probably not close, but if there's a bobcat in your bushes, maybe call animal control.
They don't really do anything.
Really?
Well,
so
the city of Richardson doesn't, because so for us, we have there's a big park with a pond and all that kind of stuff in the middle, and then it has a little stream, I guess you can call it, that connects to a neighborhood in the south that is they can have a nature, not preserve, but
kind of.
I think, I don't know what it's classified as or whatever. So those animals, it's they're basically y'all live in the animals neighborhood. We're not removing them. They won't come and do anything in Richardson in certain areas.
Wow.
Okay. So, but I don't know about other cities. But you just kind of live with them and don't let your dogs out at that point.
That's crazy.
It's always funny to me that old people that posted someone's dog or cat is in my yard. I'm
that's
a bobcat.
Yeah. Have you seen the one with the wolf that they're we brought in this dog and they're that is a wolf or a coyote or something.
Yeah. Especially in our neighborhood, those houses were all built in the early 90s. There's still people that originally bought them. Now they're in their 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Get your eyes checked.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember, this was not too long ago, the person in Houston, I think, had a tiger, a pet.
Tiger King?
Or was it a tiger? It was some wild animal. And he, it was a lion. It was a lion. Do y'all not remember that?
I have no idea.
This was not long ago. Okay, we're going to have to put the link when we post this. It was somewhat he had a wild
animal.
It was
a pet.
Yes. Anyways, I
can't, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, no, I will find the link after this.
Sure.
Okay, the next one is how to keep your house cool, because it's super hot right now. And the first one is curtains. So when you leave for the day, or even if you just want to keep your house cooler, close the blinds, shutters, curtains, just to condense the...
Blackout shades help a lot with that too. They're much heavier and they do blackouts. They keep a lot of the heat out. that's the thing we do. We keep our shutters. I normally like will have like the top section open during the day, but like in the middle of summer, like they're all closed. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't need any natural light. I don't need any extra heat.
Well, and especially in the rooms that we don't use, I always make sure the blinds are closed and our blackout curtains are drawn just to help save a little bit AC.
Yeah. It really does help. It makes a huge difference.
Another one is windows. If you live in a place that's cool enough to open your windows, get some fresh air in
the evening, early morning.
And some people do it overnight. I know Pat's parents live in Kentucky, so sometimes they'll keep their windows open. In Texas, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
It's definitely not an option for us right now.
No. And not even at night. Like the humidity is still so gross at night that I'm like, I feel like I would like be living in a humidifier.
You would.
It's gross. So gross. Fans. So I think a lot of people know that ceiling fans go in 2 directions, and I think a lot of people don't know which direction to use at what time of the year. So this is your official notice. You want to rotate your ceiling fans counterclockwise. That forces the air down and creates a breeze, and also like keeps it, again, it like pushes the cool air down. And so that counterclockwise for summer. Yes. Which means clockwise for winter.
Definitely.
We'll remind you in a few months.
Yes, exactly.
And the next one is swapping out bedding. We do this with our down comforter. We have like a heavy down comforter for winter and then a lighter one for summer. And we double our...
that's like a designer tip.
Yes.
Yeah,
like double our duvets to make it fluffier in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like always a hot sleeper. Jason and I both are like little miniature furnaces. And so like I have like even in winter, I have like, it's overstuffed, like overfilled or whatever, but it's still like a cool temp one. So it gives you like the really pretty full look. But at like in summer, it's literally like rolled up on like the last like foot of my bed, and I like sleep with like just a sheet. Like I'm always just such a hot sleeper.
We don't even keep a sheet on the bed during summer. We do like flat sheet and then a quilt. Same. And then my whole family is a penguin, so they have to sleep with like 68 degrees, and I'm shivering in the middle of the night, so I do keep my duvet. Pat like takes me over as far as I can go, and I just like wrap it up in it. But it is good to sleep when the cold. It's supposed to be for the sleep studies.
Oh yeah,
it is. I love it cold.
It's easier for me to fall asleep when it's cold.
Yeah, I hate being cold. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to talk about is pool maintenance. Tips you need to know this summer. If you have a pool, I think the most important thing is that you clean it regularly, especially in Texas during the summer. The humidity and the heat are going to make the pool
turn green
faster than you can say green. Because, and I think I have buyers that are moving in on Monday, and Thursday was the last clean the sellers are paying for. And I told them today, I was like, you need to call him today and have him scheduled for next week. Because a week of not cleaning it, you'll have to shock the pool. And over time, it's just cheaper to pay for maintenance weekly versus having to go back and shock it when you don't take care of it.
Pro tip, if you ever have to have your pool resurfaced, or if you're putting in a new pool, the regular like white plaster, it also gets algae much quicker than if you do like, I think this is like a brand name, so I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but like Pebble Tech or whatever, like the new ones that are like the different kind of finish, those are actually like algae resistant to some extent. Like I don't know if that's the exact wording, but I know that they do not get algae as easily, which is the green stuff in your pool. So
unless you have the time to check your chemicals or clean it every day, it really is important to find a good pool company to take care of it for you.
Yes.
The second thing was to check your chemicals, and that's something that it seems easy, but it takes up time, and it's hard. It's hard.
Gosh. It's like chemistry. Like I used to like watch Jason do it, and I was like, no, thank you.
I was a lifeguard in high school, and I used to do it, but I forget what.
Yeah. There's like little test strips in the water, and you shake it, and you drop this in it, and put 2 drops of that in it. If it turns this color, you need this chemical. If it turns this color, you need that chemical.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. So if like you do have the time to learn that, absolutely do it and check it regularly. If you do not, then make sure that your pool company, like most reputable pool companies, will be doing that.
Yeah.
It's super important. The other one is keep the water moving. So check to make sure that, all of your jets on the sides are open, that your, what are those things on the side, the little flapper things?
The
skimmers. There you go. To make sure that your skimmers are on, your jets are all on, because that does help. Like standing water is also what helps algae bloom.
And while you're cleaning your pool, make sure you check your skimmers every day. We have to check ours in the morning and the evening.
Oh my gosh,
it's the most terrifying thing. Yeah, so our neighbors, No, I have to reach my hand in there.
No, so there's new ones that, like, you take the top off, and then the basket that's at the bottom has this pole that sticks up the middle with a T, and you just pull the T.
No, because I've had baby mice. I've had,
frogs.
I've had frogs. Well, the frogs don't really bother me. It's like
when they're belly up and, like,
no, yeah, that bothers me. But, like, when they're alive, I can deal with that.
No.
We have had, like, literally, like, huge spiders. And I'm like, oh. But my neighbors keep finding baby snakes. And I'm like, that I will not handle.
Absolutely
I will not. I do not want that. I can handle a live snake, but when I'm not sure what he's doing in the water.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the last one is know when to call for help. When you see green water, cloudy water, excessive water loss.
It is too late. You better call.
Just
ASAP.
call a pool company.
Yeah.
And they'll take care of it.
Yeah, the cloudy water I think bothers me even more than the green water. I'm like, why is it milky? Or like,
so bad.
Just that off-white color that you're like, why is it like that? I would not get in any water like that.
I always am trying to be cheap, and cutting out the pool company was one of my we don't need it, whatever. And then it just went bad for me. So this is something that is worth your money if you have a pool.
Okay, so you have a pool leak.
We did, yeah.
Is the pool company that installed it? That's got to be under warranty.
No,
since it's so new.
So since they moved into the house and then built the pool, so the pool is less than a year and a half old. And when I called the company who built it, I contacted the listing agent. I said, hey, can you please confirm who built the pool? He sent me the contact. I called the company and they said the sellers never initiated the warranty, so we will not be able to help you. And I said, okay, well, even if I don't have the warranty, you're still who built our pool, so I need you to come look at it. And she said, we're so sorry, we don't do that. And so we were not able to use them. We called,
thankfully, it sounds like
2 or 3 other companies, and finally the contractor.
I know the owner of a really good pool company.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and so our contractor who's doing the work, and we only found it. So we had rocks around the edge of our pool, and just with kids coming over, and it was just not kid friendly.
Right.
And so we're removing the rocks, putting concrete down, so that way it's more kid friendly, especially for little kids around the pool. But when they pulled those rocks up, they laid the dirt, and the dirt kept getting soaking wet. And so after days, we were like, okay, this is a problem. And so we had to wait. Our contractor ended up pulling strings and getting a company out, but they couldn't come out for 12 days. So our poor neighbors have been staring at our backyard looking like a dump for the last 3 weeks.
Were y'all having to fill your pool with the water hose pretty often?
So it's on automatically. So we never knew that it wasn't. And so we don't know how long this leak has been going.
Bill.
Well, and it wasn't that high.
Okay.
That's what's so weird is when we had the ice storm first a year ago, our bill was a lot at that point. But then it's never been too high.
I wonder if that's when it happened.
Right. So we think that's when it happened, but then it's been kind of like a slow leak, and so our water bill hasn't been that drastic, because that's the first thing our contractor asked. She was like, "What is your water bill at?" And it was
that's crazy,
not that high. And so the guy finally came and patched it and fixed it, but it was expensive.
Was it within the plaster gunite? Was it a crack within that, or was
the
it
pipe leading out?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they just didn't seal it properly.
Yeah. So one of my clients, the ones that bought in a really nice neighborhood of Plano, that house that closed a little while ago, that they were going to remodel and whatnot. Mm-hmm. We thought it had a pool leak when we went under contract. We were pretty sure. All around the equipment was super swampy. And the listing agents were like, it may have a leak. It may just because of weather. We're not sure. The seller's not sure. And so I told my clients, it's just safe to assume it's a leak.
Yeah.
Well, so their original pool company that went out, they're like, no, everything looks good or whatever. And so she just talked to me last week, and she's like, we did end up having a pool leak. She's like, but we had planned, when we had gone under contract, they had known that was something that they were likely going to have to take care of. But that house was worth it. So. And
it's just so hard. And the pools, I don't know anything about pools, unfortunately. Yeah. So, and that's why we have stuck with keeping a pool company, because it is so important to keep it clean and so maintaining it.
It's a huge investment that to build a pool, but then it is an investment. When you purchase a house, it's an investment to have a pool. I mean, it's a long-term maintenance, and if you get we were the lucky ones that we owned the house when the pool needed to be resurfaced, and that was I think $20,000.
That
was the fear of was the fear of how much were we gonna have to do? Were we gonna have to empty all the water out and do all of that? It's terrifying.
So at both houses that we owned, we had to empty the water out, refill the pool, One had to be resurfaced, retiled, recoat. The other one, it just was that, I can't remember what happened to it. The cover that we had over it during winter, there was like a rip or something that we didn't know about. So that when we uncovered it at the beginning of summer, it literally looked like a pond from like, and there I was like, what? And so like a pool company, they're like, we're literally like, they had to drain it. And they had to power wash, like bleach, basically, and then like porous, like stone scrub all of the plaster to get it like fully back, and then refill. And like literally, it was refilling the day before we were supposed to host my brother's like 30th birthday party, like as like a pool party. And it's like the water that comes out of your hose is colder than like what you realize, and so like. It was like June 9th, and that water was like 72 or something.
Oh my god!
Which is so cold for a swimming pool.
So what is it normally?
Okay, so like some people like it, and they're like in like the 80s. I prefer like low 90s for me to get. I like a warm pool.
Me too.
And like bath water warm?
Yes.
Kinda.
I feel like it's so gross when you get in a pool that's warm.
No, because
it's still cooler than 108, which is what it feels like. But you're not like getting like cold.
Yeah.
So if you've ever wanted a pool,
there's
the rundown.
There's
of the
more
real.
stories from those that owned them.
But it's important to not only maintain your pools, but your house, your landscaping, your lot, making sure that everything is just taken care of. It's at some point the house will sell. You might not be planning on selling it for 30 years, but the maintenance throughout the years will help it when it needs to sell.
And Texas is like the land of extremes. We have like, we do get the crazy cold temperatures where we have those hard freezes, and we have the crazy hot. So it's like during summer and winter maintenance, home maintenance is just really, really so important because your home is having to deal with the two extremes. So.
And that's why it's important to your foundation too, right? We didn't talk about the winter is now your foundation's struggling too. So it is just important to do your year-round maintenance, especially in the summer.
Yes.
All right, so I think that wraps it up for this episode. So, all right, hopefully on the next one, maybe we might have our fourth amigo back, our fourth musketeer. So, looking forward to that, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.